So welcome to this week's episode of Ask Us Anything. So I had to bring that energy just so people keep watching. In this week's episode, we answer a shitload of nutrition questions.
Yeah, and so if you are confused about nutrition, keep watching.
Alright, we're back with another episode of Ask Us Anything. Today we have quite a few questions, so we're going to leave us two talking at the start to a minimal and go straight in with the questions you've asked us. So, first question, I'm going to give this one to you. Let's say I have 500 calories extra from the week to eat on top today, on top of 1,550, it's very specific, but I haven't walked or worked out. If I have 2,000 calories today, so the 500 calories that they have extra, on top of what they normally do, doesn't that mean I'm in a calorie surplus, but I'm still in my weekly range? How does that all work?
Okay, so you lost me a little bit. Okay, so you're on 2,000.
So basically, they eat 1,500 to lose weight. But they have, so they eat 1,500 every single day, but then they have one of the days they must have had 1,000, or they had
so you've got the 500
so they've got 500 left at the end of the day, end of the week. So that they want to know if they eat 2,000 on the last day, does that put them in a surplus because they're overeating on that one day?
No, so I would say obviously looking at that week. So if you go by, okay, you've got that 1,500 every day, but one of those days you was less by 500, and you add that on, say on Sunday, you're still going to be in the same calorie deficit across the week. So the total amount of calories you've consumed across the week would be exactly the same. Whether or not that was split on every day, or one day was more or less than another, the total intake of calories is still exactly the same across the week. So no, the answer would be no.
Like deficits don't work like that.
Like again, you can look at it day by day or weekly. It's kind of totally up to you, but it's the total amount of calories that you want to worry about. Hope that answers your question.
It does for me anyway, hopefully. So next question, when going out to restaurants, especially Indian ones, trying to put the food into MyFitnessPal can be a bit of a pain in the ass. There's so many inputs with different amounts of calories for various dishes. So how do you know you're tracking the right one and not ending up underestimating calories? Where's your Indian? What's the answer to this?
Where's my Indian?
I said, as your Indian.
Well, as your Indian.
If I was going out to Indian restaurant, what I would do is just guess. Like, you're not going to get anything that's super accurate. You're not going to be able to kind of ask the chef what food they're
what's
putting
the macros in this dish.
You never get any calorie information at Indian restaurants. So if there's any Indian chefs or restaurant owners watching, why don't you start doing it? I think we'll start not us fitness people, but anyone who's trying to watch their weight might come to your restaurant a bit more. But actually they probably won't, because they'll see how many calories you actually put into your meal.
That is so true.
But you're just gonna have to overestimate. Like, it's one of those things you have to bite the bullet, go for the things that are the lowest calories in your mind, like like the lean pieces of meat and the grilled food and the salads, and not that they have that much, but things like that. And if you're a vegetarian, then you go for the grains, ask the chef to put less oil, you look at the lentil-based curries, things like that, and then just try and make mindful decisions. There's not much you can do really.
And that's the same with every restaurant, not just Indian restaurants.
You just have to be a bit mindful and overestimate. Next question.
Okay, so could you tell me how many calories is in 10,000 steps? Does the speed you walk make a difference in how many calories you lose, or is it a standard amount? So 10,000 steps is roughly, for an average person weighing roughly 70 kilos, is about 400 calories. But it is very hard to give one final answer and one amount for everyone.
Because everyone weighs different. The amount you're going to walk is going to, as in steps will be the same, but the speed you've done the 10,000 steps is going to be different. There's
so many different things to take into consideration, so it is very hard, but at least kind of on average roughly 400, but it could be a lot more than that, it could be a lot less. So it's person to person really.
But as an average, take it 400 to 500 calories. If you weigh lighter, then lower end.
Lower end.
If you're someone really heavy and you're walking at a fast pace, you've done those 10,000 calorie steps quite quickly, then up the range. Next question. I have a massive problem. I walk roughly 8,000 to 16,000 steps a day. However, when I get back from walks or bike rides, I have a massive craving for sweets, chocolates, cakes, donuts, anything fatty. What could I do to stop myself from pigging out, and is this normal? Please help. Now, you're not the only one. A lot of people find this is the problem. Like, so you've done a massive workout, you've burnt loads of calories, and then you want to eat. You feel hungry, you want to like just destroy everything in sight. I too usually feel like this.
Yeah, same.
When you get in, you want to go for the easiest option, and the thing is that the things that are ready are the stuff that's not probably best for you. The pre-packet stuff, not that that's bad, it's just generally that it's higher in calories, and you want to eat something generally healthier. So what I would say is during your workouts or during your bike ride or your walks, making sure you're hydrated. So a lot of time after a workout you're quite thirsty, and you mistake that for like you're feeling lightheaded, you're feeling like run down energy, you want to get carbs. So make sure you're hydrated for your workouts, and that will stop a little bit. So that feeling of like wanting to eat and getting sugar in you will kind of be reduced a little bit. That's one tip. The other one is prepare something. So either take a piece of fruit with you, then you can have that immediately after the workout, or if you don't feel like eating straight away, then you can just kind of curb those cravings that way. Protein shake will be really good because it helps satisfy like cravings as well. So having stuff ready is a great way of doing it. If you don't have anything ready, if you're not planned, if you're not prepared, then you're going to like want to eat whatever's in sight and whatever's easiest to get. So that's what I would do.
Good answer.
Thank you very much.
Okay, next question.
Interruption. Oh, this is a long one.
Oh God. Okay,
I don't think it's going to fit on the screen when I answer the question.
Bear with me for a sec. I'm a vegetarian and I'm finding it pretty hard to meet my protein goals through natural food sources. They either come with a lot of carbs or a lot of fat. Example, whole legumes with skin and paneer, or Indian cheese. The latter has a lot of calories too, and I'm not able to convince myself to consume protein through supplements. Some intuition keeps telling me that it's not good, it's processed, and most of the products in market are heavily priced. Kindly help, or what is your view on this, please? I hardly get around 40 to 60 grams of protein each day, which is very little, although I know that consuming protein is good for building muscle and strength. What will the consequences be if I don't? Okay, so firstly, there isn't nothing wrong with, say, like whey protein shakes, protein bars and stuff like that. Obviously, we would always normally recommend to try and get it from natural sources of food anyway.
Yeah.
You don't want to rely on those things too much, but definitely if you're a vegetarian, sometimes it's going to be really hard, especially if you want to get that balance right through protein, your carbs and your fats, that you may have to rely on some of these products sometimes. And yeah, getting enough protein is really important for recovery, repairing and rebuilding your muscles and all things like that. So you do definitely want to try and increase your protein intake. And yeah, there's nothing wrong with like kind of whey protein shakes and stuff.
Just to add to what Sadie said, like with the protein products, I'm mainly assuming you're talking about like protein shakes. So with protein shakes, the main ingredient, the number one thing, if you got a good one, is whey protein. So whey protein is literally a byproduct from making milk into cheese. So you get whey when you make milk into cheese. It's something that sits on top of the milk, and they scoop it off and they process it into a powder. And I know a lot of people think, oh, it's processed and it's really bad. It's not. Now, I know they add like sweetener and they add like flavorings. Even then, the research shows, like scientific actual research, not someone's opinion, shows it's not harmful for you. So don't worry about it. And whey is the main ingredient, I think it's the main ingredient, in baby formula. I'm gonna have to double check that fact before I put this in. But yeah, so if you're gonna give it to your child when they're born to help them grow and build, you know, their bones and, you know, help them grow just generally and develop, then it should be fine for you as an adult. Yeah, you wouldn't give it to your baby, and your doctor wouldn't recommend it. So I wouldn't worry about it. It's not like some crazy product. The other thing, the price wise, I understand like, oh, £45 for a protein tub it seems expensive. When you look at gram, so the one scoop will give you about 25 grams of protein. Yeah. If you look at a chicken breast, might give you about 30 to 40 grams. Now that costs more for a serving of protein costs more than like a meat would, or even a dairy product. So when you look at it like that, it's quite cost effective, and it's actually a cheaper source and a cheaper way of getting protein. Yeah, and I think you covered the last bit. Protein's important. Oh, actually, one thing. The other thing Sadie didn't say is protein is actually really good for fat loss as well, and it's not because like it's some super crazy thing that helps with fat loss. It's because it helps retain muscle, which you did say, but it also helps satisfy you more than other carbs would or fats would. It's the most what's the word, like satisfying, satiating macronutrient. So that's another reason why you should make sure you're having high protein amounts. It's quite thermogenic as well, more so than the other ones. So basically when you digest it, you burn more calories than you would trying to digest carbs and fats. I think that's right. But yeah, so that's why protein is important, especially at fat loss, to make sure it's up. So definitely try and up it, and I wouldn't worry about having a protein shake. Did I just repeat what you just said?
No, you expanded it, which is good.
Yeah, well, is there anything else? Oh yes, one more question. So, at what rate can a person like me, 29-year-old lady, lose weight in kilograms per month to keep it sustainable and to keep the loss weight off forever? Give me a range which is safe and attainable. So,
I was going to say it in pounds, but I'm not very good with that's in kilos. I'm not good at maths, converting.
Well, it's going to be different for every single person. So there's no kilogram or pound weight that I would say. But I would say if you're doing everything right, and this is everything right, spot on, you can look at losing 1% of total body weight. So how much do you weigh in kilograms?
So 61.
That was
Flip!
Yeah, so 61 kilograms. So you're looking at 0.61 kilos a week loss, yeah? And that would be a safe, attainable rate of fat loss. So if Sadie was doing everything right. So do you find that in your fat loss you lose around like just that?
I know the difference. Yeah, if I'm doing what I'm supposed to do and I'm consistent with everything, then yes. And I think at the beginning it's a little bit more than that. But yeah, to sustain and do it on a consistent basis, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and I'm talking about average. I don't mean like every single week you're going to drop that. But let's say you look at a 3-month period. If you divide up the 3-month period by the 12 weeks, it should be around that figure, about 1% loss a week. So every week you might not lose that much, but on average.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's all the questions we have.
And I hope that has answered your questions, guys.
There's starting to be a bit noisier at the back there, so we're going to cut it off. And we will see you next time. Like always, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. And if you do have any questions that you don't want to leave in the comments, because this is like health and fitness stuff, and it is a bit like, I don't want to ask it in front of people, or like, you don't want to see people to see your personal questions, you can go to this link here and ask them anonymously. And if you'd like a reply, you can leave your email address too. So,
and hopefully we will see you soon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, not see you, but speak to you soon.
Well, they'll see us, we don't see you. But we can see you if you leave feedback in the comments, so do that as well. We like to interact with you guys. The whole reason we do this is to help you, and it's really good to know when you're actually watching and, giving up, like interact with us. Talk to us. We're getting lonely in this camera. Come on, let us out. Dun, dun, dun.
See you later.
Alright. So I'm gonna go, welcome to this week's episode of Ask Us Anything.
You can do that.